Good morning, everyone. My name is Stephen Stewart, and I am the CEO of Orefinders Resources and the chairman of Mistango River Resources. And I'm here today to tell you about our very unique and special strategic partnership with Kirkland Lake Gold. Kirkland Lake Gold is making an equity investment. It's going to be acquiring 9.9% of each of the two companies. Additionally, it's going to be entering into an option and joint venture agreement with each a separate value or total value of $60 million in each of those two companies to earn interest into these two companies' projects. It's a very exciting deal and opportunity for Orefinders and Mistango. It's something we've been working on for a long time. We're very pleased to partner with such a fantastic group like Kirkland Lake Gold. They are going to be producing 1.3 million ounces of gold this year from their three assets. Of course, their flagship asset, Macassa, and their namesake is in Kirkland Lake. We are their neighbors. They're fantastic operators, led by Tony McCooch, and they've got a phenomenal balance sheet, over $800 million in cash. They produce a tremendous amount of free cash flow, and they're looking for optionality and growth opportunities. And they found it with Mistango and Orefinders. And I'm very, very pleased to finally be able to talk about this transaction. And I will do so throughout this webinar. So please stay tuned. Here are our disclaimers, which is ubiquitous. We won't get into them, but please read them. For those who are new to Orefinders and Mistango, and I suspect there will be a lot of new eyes on us as a result of this transaction, I'd like to set the table by introducing the Ore Group, which Orefinders and Mistango are part of. But the Ore Group is our broader company. It's a group of like-minded individuals who focus on exploration, development, and discovery. And we do so by acquiring assets, raising capital, and ultimately looking to make a discovery, which is the primary objective of Orefinders and Mistango, who are two of our core companies within the Ore Group. But as you can see, we've got four other ones, six in total: American Eagle Gold, QC Copper, D-Block Discoveries, and of course, Baseload Energy to complement the suite of portfolio companies. So please have a look at oregroup.ca, but this is exclusively focused on our Kirkland Lake, Orefinders and Mistango transaction. And this is what we're going to be talking about. Most, if not everybody in our industry, will be very familiar with Kirkland Lake Gold, but I'm going to walk you through a little bit about why we chose to do a transaction with them and why I think they chose to do a transaction with us. Of course, I don't speak for them, but I'll talk of some of the synergies, which to me are quite clear. We'll talk about the review of assets. Why is Kirkland Lake making an investment in us? Well, I think it's clearly about our assets. These two companies have had a very clear strategy of acquisitions over the number of years, and they've both raised substantial capital over the last year, and they're both now putting money into the ground, looking to expand on known and existing resources, but also we offer the optionality of making game-changing discoveries because we are in the Kirkland Lake District, which is one of the most prolific gold-bearing districts in the world. We are between Orefinders and Mistango. It has the third largest land position in the district, third only to 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐸 and to Kirkland Lake Gold, of course. And then we'll talk about why we chose to do this partnership. Obviously, this partnership has consequences, and we think all in all, this is the absolute best risk-adjusted return opportunity we could have provided for our shareholders, and we'll talk about the implications of that. So, for those of you who don't know, Kirkland Lake Gold, KL as they're often referred to, and they their flagship asset is called the Macassa. Obviously, the namesake of their town is in Kirkland Lake, Ontario. They have three assets. They've got the Macassa. Of course, in KL, they've got the Fosterville, which is just about an hour and a half north of Melbourne in Australia. And they've got Detour, which is on the eastern side of Ontario, just at the border of Quebec. Between those three assets, they're targeting to produce well over 1 million ounces of gold in 2021. That makes them a major. They've got a phenomenal balance sheet. Their AISC is amongst the lowest in the industry because in particular, Macassa and Fosterville just have absolutely phenomenal grades. and Detour's got a mine life of multiple decades. And I think it's all underlined by a fantastic team. They certainly have been the darling of the market over the last number of years. So it's what a turnaround story. It's been down from $1 a number of years ago up to $60, et cetera. So they've been just phenomenal. Hats off to their corporate team and their operations and exploration team, obviously led by their CEO, Tony Makuch. They really are the cream of the crop, and that's particularly why we're so proud to be involved with them. And I think it really validates our assets, our strategy, and our team behind Orefinders and Mistango to receive the tip of the hat, if you will, from such a well-established and successful group company like Kirkland Lake. I think this provides validation that retail shareholders can take comfort in. So for a company like Kirkland Lake to invest it in us, I think de-risks it from a retail investor standpoint. So I think that's an intangible and added bonus that we'll get from this. This is going to bring attention to us, and people can feel comfortable that a group like KL has comfort in our assets and willing to invest in them. And I think that gives comfort to other people as well. So a little bit about their namesake town, Kirkland Lake, Ontario, beautiful little town in Northern Ontario. It is the third largest ore body, singular gold ore body ever mined. Not many people know that. But the 𝐾𝐨𝐺 is just the 7th ore body, or I should say the 7th mine to mine from this ore body. It's produced over 25 million ounces, high-grade ounces. You can see this sign as you enter it into the town. And of course, Mistango River Resources is hoping to be the 8th mine. Okay, so it lies west of the 𝐾𝐾𝐨, and these mines started with the tow barn and the sylvanite. And Wright Hargraves all came from east to west. And so there's been a lot of excitement around Mistango, who's currently drilling as we speak west of 𝐾𝐾𝐨. And so that's really the underlying fundamental reason why Kirkland Lake became involved, is because Mistango's land position, and Orefinders as well, both in and around Kirkland Lake, looking for more of those ounces that have already been produced. I won't get into this, but this is 𝐾𝐾𝐨. This is the shaft number 4 there. That's going to go into operation next year. They're going to almost double their production. I think they're in around 180,000 ounces this year, and they're looking to double that, bring that up to 400,000 ounces in 2023. Part of that is the South Mine Complex, which is a new ore body, if you will, that has been there all this time, but only recently started to be exploited. It offers tremendous high-grade exploration potential all along that strike there, and it obviously goes west. There's lots of discussion around whether this is in fact the source of the mineralization. So it's really a fantastic area. There's lots more gold to be found, I guess, is the underlying reason here. And I think that's part of the reason why Orefinders and Mistango are so attractive, because of our land position along the Cadillac-Larder Lake Fault in Kirkland Lake. This is our collective land position, short of one other asset called the Knight, which Orefinders has. You can see here, this is Mistango River Resources asset, the E.B. Baldwin, which is contiguous and adjacent to Kirkland Lake, which is outlined here in the gray, and this is us here. And then, of course, we've got Orefinders also has the Morado project, which is the south of the break. And then we can go over here to Orefinders McGarry property and to Mistango's Omega. So here are 4 assets that are in the camp that are all on the break, or at least 3 out of the 4 are on the break. And then I'll point out over here is the 𝐾𝐨𝐺, which is another world-class ore body. It is effectively the 𝐾𝐾𝐨 of its day. It shut down in 1996, but it produced 11 million ounces. So we always like to say between and in and around these 2 goalposts, meaning the 𝐾𝐨𝐺 and the 𝐾𝐾𝐨, there are other ore bodies to be found. I think 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐤 would agree. They've got one themselves. So it's a fantastic area to be in. We believe in consolidation, and that's the strategy we have undertook. And that's why I think companies like Kirkland Lake Gold are taking an interest into us. So there's lots of work to do, but this transaction has bolstered our treasury, and we're in a really good position, I think. This is our 5th asset. It's just off the map here, as just pointed out here. I'll flip back. The 𝐼𝐸 is about 100 kilometers to the south-southwest. Please do not ignore this asset. We have been drilling it. We're drilling it as we speak for Orefinders. It has some eye-popping grades in its history. It's got a former producing mine called the Tyranite mine, which we've extended the mineralization on at depth and on strike. And it, of course, sits on top of the 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞, which is an established asset. It's owned by 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐿 Gold. I don't believe it's a 4 million ounce asset anymore. I think because they've redone that 43-101, and it's a multi-million ounce asset, but certainly something very interesting. We believe there's opportunities on that area as well, but really it needs more exploration, which we're undertaking. So let's talk about why Orefinders and Mistango chose to do this equity partnership, as well as strategic investment. So again, let me break down the high level terms. So Kirkland Lake Gold is acquiring 9.9% of the shares of Orefinders, as well as 9.9% of the shares of Mistango River Resources. So that is closing in the very near term. In addition, and on top of that, it is making an option agreement to acquire up to 75% of the assets in those companies that exist in those companies as of now. So up to 75% in exchange for $60 million expenditures over the next 10 years. And that option agreement is virtually identical in both companies. So Orefinders has that agreement, as does Mistango, so that both the equity and the option terms are virtually identical within the two companies. Collectively, that represents approximately $125 million investment over that time that Kirkland Lake is making into the company. Those are substantial numbers. The equity investment comes right away, and obviously they invest over time. It's at their discretion to accelerate it. We hope we do. Certainly if there's major discoveries found, you can expect those figures to be accelerated and earn their interest sooner. So we'll see what happens. So I think that was awfully attractive to us to bolster our treasury, but also now effectively those two companies, Mistango and Orefinders, are not spending their capital on the existing assets. So we have this very large treasury, and on top of that, Kirkland Lake is spending their capital for exploration. So that presents a pretty unique opportunity. So that's why I talk about new opportunities while advancing our asset portfolio. So, and as well as technical expertise. So we will be leaning or working together is a better way of putting it with Kirkland Lake, extracting their technical expertise and their knowledge of the area. They've been operating there for a long time. They know the area. So we're going to put our two heads together and devise plans going forward. I think that's extremely important. So in the meantime, throughout this agreement, we'll be advancing our existing assets as they are known, but we're also going to be looking for new opportunities because, as I said, between Orefinders and Mistango, they will have a treasury of cash around $15 million, which is substantial, which leads towards new opportunities because that $15 million is not going to be spent on the existing asset package. So again, new opportunities, very strong balance sheet. And I'll emphasize again, validation. I think retail investors can have sleep a little bit easier knowing that company like Kirkland Lake Gold sees this opportunity just like we do. So that's great. Why did Kirkland Lake make the gold make the opportunity or make the investment? Well, of course, again, I don't speak on behalf of Kirkland Lake, but I know they're looking for optionality. They're looking for growth and increased exposure towards the Kirkland Lake district, which is their namesake. They see the opportunity there. They're operators. They know how well endowed the Kirkland Lake district, and more particularly the Cadillac Larder Lake fault, the main fault, the 04 break, the South Mine complex. They know the history of these. They know there's more ore bodies beneath there, and you need the ground and the expertise and the capital to go out there and find it. And so we give them a little bit more exposure to that. And I think they also appreciate the work that we've done as a team in putting together these assets. And that speaks to the new opportunities that our group is well known for and we'll be looking to generate in the future on behalf for the benefit of course, Mistango and Orefinders shareholders, but now also Kirkland Lake Gold. So again, as we close up here, I'll just talk about the implications. I've already touched upon this, but again, this is quite simply put, this increases our odds of making a world-class discovery, one, and two, expanding upon existing known resources. We really believe that this transaction offers our shareholders the best risk-adjusted return available to us. It allows us to advance these assets as I've described them, each of those 5 assets, but it also allows us to be creative going forward and acquire new opportunities. And I think our group at the OR Group, within Orefinders in Mistango, we have a track record of being creative and doing accretive transactions. So time will tell what we do, but please stay tuned. And I'm really looking forward to the future. This is a major milestone for us, and we're very proud to have achieved this. So that's it for today. My name is Stephen Stewart. I'm the CEO of Orefinders and the chairman of Mistango. These are my contacts, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your time.